Hey, what's up, everybody? I am not Dave Landau. I am Don Jamieson. I am known in the comedy business as the affordable Dave Landau. So let's get things started here, all right? Welcome to Normal World. Hundreds of migrants were finally evacuated from a theater in Paris after having been there for months. They weren't squatting, just trying to finally finish Martin Scorsese's Killers of the Flower Moon.
It's a brutal one.
A Tesla dealership in Illinois was believed to be vandalized this past weekend after employees noticed suspicious signage on a Cybertruck. After closer examination, however, it was determined that the message simply read, sold.
An older man was set on fire recently in New York City. For those of you with your fingers crossed, whispering a silent prayer to yourself, I am sorry to inform you, it was not Andrew Cuomo.
Damn it.
Maybe next time.
Running for mayor again.
Oof.
Again.
Unbelievable.
Donald Trump signed an executive order today abolishing the Department of Education, but will still need congressional approval, which requires 60 votes in the Senate, where there are currently 53 Republicans. I don't know if that'll be enough because I went to public school.
It's difficult.
Kanye will get more love from the Jews than Donald Trump will from the Dems.
Yeah.
That's very true.
Pocahontas. That was good. Did you watch the State of the Union?
I absolutely did, yeah.
It was a beautiful show.
It was entertaining.
That's what I love about Donald Trump. He's very entertaining, at least.
Oh, so many great lines in there.
And then you just stare at them directly into their eyes while they held up their little signs. It was beautiful.
Yeah, we didn't need a new immigration law. You just needed a new president.
Yeah,
So good. Don Jamieson, welcome to the show.
Good to be here again. Sitting in Dave Landau's seat. A lot of pressure here.
Hey, is it warm at least?
It's a
Is
little,
it
yeah, very
soggy? Just a little bit.
a little wet.
Hey, if people wanted to see you in the real world, where do they go to see you?
Well, tomorrow night I'll be in Arlington at the Heavy Metal Hall of Fame. Doing some stand-up and rocking out with some bands. Free beer, by the way, if you come tomorrow night. Also, Saturday night, I'm part of the American Misfits in Rochester, Michigan, with Dave Landau and Michael Loftus. So that'll be a lot of fun.
That's going to be a great show.
Yeah. So joining us today, my name's Black Garrett, if you don't already know. Angela
I'm
in
Angela.
studios. Thank
What up?
you,
What up?
Angela, for being Angela.
Thanks.
And returning, you know him, you love him, Matt McClary.
How do you do, everybody?
Ow!
Cool. I'm going to be at Side Splitters Wesley Chapel tomorrow and Saturday, March 21st and 22nd, if you want to come check that out.
Tampa.
Yeah, Tampa. It's
Check
fun.
it
It's
out.
in a movie theater. It's probably the only people who will be in the movie theater will be at the comedy show.
Not going to see Snow White?
No, I don't
See
think
that
they are.
insufferable bitch?
Snow White, who is named that because she survived a brutal snowstorm. I don't know if you know that.
No.
That revisionist piece of information.
No, I've never heard that.
Wow.
That's in the song in the new one.
The
too.
new movie.
Yes, my daddy called me that because I survived a snowstorm. it's like
They had to cover their tracks because she's Mexican.
Yeah, she's not white.
I was way more focused on the dwarves.
Yeah.
the
Monsters.
Do they still have the dwarves? Or
Yes.
DEI wharves.
Yeah.
They have.
It was too far down the line. They couldn't cut him out. It was
Yeah.
too late.
Those were actually only stand-ins, though. Actually,
Well,
they do
in
have the
the movie-
CGI.
In the movie, there's a bandit faction or something. I guess those people in the photos people thought that they were like the stand-ins for the doors, but they weren't. They were like some weird misfit.
That's the thing I love in movies and comic books and television nowadays, how we have these classics for years and years, centuries, really. And then people, people who just got out of college are like, I'm going to pile on all of my mythology onto it after the fact.
Yeah, these are the most simple, basic stories of our childhood. And now they've turned into this crazy thing you don't even recognize anymore.
No, they've incredibly overcomplicated it. And it's like in Star Wars, everything is so set. Do you know what I mean? And written in stone. And then they're throwing all this other stuff. And you're like, this doesn't sync with the timeline at all.
This makes sense
At all.
Why are you doing it? Yeah, that's funny that they're doing that so much with these classic stories. Like you said, it's a grim fairy tale. They're for children. and they're written better than movies that cost $300 million and are made by like 2,000 adults.
But then it just really destroys your suspension of disbelief when they infuse like these 2020 politics to it. Like, even if I agreed with them, I'd just be kind of like, well, that doesn't seem to fit what we're going for here at all.
Well, and especially in Star Wars too, because isn't George Lucas like the lore and all of the like in-depth stuff about Star Wars? Like, if you asked him about like extra character in the background of whatever scene, he'd be able to tell you that character's name.
Well,
like, he had it so fleshed
in
out.
his movies, yeah.
Right. And then now it's just like,
well, they would
just
write
throw some shit in there.
They would have to write all these backstories because kids wanted action figures of all the characters in the cantina. So you'd have to make something. You'd have to retrofit something out of a mask you made. You know?
Hammerhead.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's my favorite. Hammerhead. Well, let's not talk about Disney because Disney sucks. What you should do is you should tongue punch that like button.
Do it.
You were probably already doing it. But just in case the people out in the audience that weren't doing it, now you got to do it. So that's the rules. And if you weren't already tongue punching it, you got to comment in the comment below and tell me that you didn't. I'll know. For real. Don, what do you want to talk about? There's a lot of stuff that happened this week. We were talking about it before. Freaking astronauts being saved. Egypt possibly having a spaceship under the freaking pyramids or something. Weird stuff. I don't know what's going on.
I figured maybe start with, I'm big on the heavy metal scene.
Hell yeah.
That's right.
And my buddy David Draymond from the band Disturbed just filed a lawsuit against his former landlord, alleging that mold in a rental home in Coral Gables, Florida, caused him to suffer health issues that negatively affected his singing career. We have obtained an exclusive recent performance, and we think he might be telling the truth.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I hate to hear him like that.
I think he has a case.
Damning evidence.
Yes.
Damning.
Down with the mold-related sickness. Yeah, they'll be celebrating
ironic.
25 years of that 25 years from now. Yes. Down with the mold. And in related news, the singer of Korn is suing his old landlord for CO2 poisoning. So it's tough in the new metal scene right now. It's the times are tough. It might explain what's going on with Wes from Puddle of Mud, though.
What's going on with him?
He's in trouble again.
I thought that was just his thing.
What was he in trouble for? I saw an article about this, but I can't remember what it was.
Well, first they were in Daytona, and he couldn't sing, he couldn't play guitar. And after the show, he said, my old bandmate roofied me. And then recently he punched a girlfriend in the face. So
wow.
So that bass player must be following him around, roofing him, or he's breathing in mold.
Forget me now.
Yeah,
That's too bad.
he's subletting David Draymond's old house in Florida, and he's got mold disease.
Well, it's safe to say that girl fucking hates him.
Yes.
Furries. Do you know what furries are? Are you aware of the furries?
I unfortunately do.
Yes. If you've spent any amount of time on the internet, you know that furries exist and they're everywhere. They're in every fandom. They're the worst thing on the internet because they're in everything. They're the worst part of everything. So Texas is banning them. You are no longer allowed to bring furry paraphernalia to school and dress up like them, or hopefully exist. Is there?
Yeah. So
are we actually passing this bill?
Yeah. So the proposed legislation, they're trying to pass it.
Damn it.
Dubbed the Forbidding Unlawful Representation of Role-Playing in Education, or Furries Act, aims to they really went hand in hand, and that's great. Aims to prohibit students from engaging in any non-human behavior, including presenting themselves as anything other than a human. And some of those prohibited behaviors include using a litter box to relieve oneself, wearing non-human accessories such as tails, leashes, collars, fur, making any noises such as barking, meowing, or hissing, and licking oneself for grooming. So.
Which means that this all happened at least once.
Yes.
It's on the list.
I mean, I'm sure it's been said by somebody else, but how are we just not living in a South Park episode at this point? You know?
We are.
Yeah. Or you could just send a bunch of good old boys from Texas and their pickup trucks and their rifles and About 100 of them go down to school and declare it furry season.
Hunting time.
I don't advocate for violence against children, but we have to cull the
These
herd
aren't children.
at
These
some
are
point.
furries.
But they're letting kids do the 12-year-old kids are doing this in school, and then they go home. They're not doing that at home. They're not going in a litter box at home.
Let's just
Not the kids. I assume they don't have their own space.
and Texas, of all places, it got to the point where it needed to be legislated.
Yeah.
It wasn't just knock it off.
Yeah, just
wanna
get some
say,
good
like-
old boys down there.
Like I'm free, freedom of expression. You could do anything you want. You could wear whatever you want. It's still cringe.
Well, I mean, that's
Still
why
super cringe.
exemptions are being made for Halloween theater performances and being the school's mascot.
You gotta,
I'm not even kidding. That was in the. I'm not making a joke. This is just the article I transcribed.
you gotta draw a line somewhere. You know.
Aerosmith had an album called Night in the Ruts, and on the back of the album, they switched the letters around so it would say right in the nuts. And I wore that T-shirt to high school. My parents knew about that before homeroom started. They got kids on leashes who are barking and meowing in schools, and you wonder why Trump wants to abolish the Department of Education.
They have to have that area where they go to the bathroom like they have at the airport for dogs now. It's just like, why are you bringing your dog to the airport? I would love to bring my dog to the airport, but
You could get away with it.
I guess I could.
A little vest on it.
Yeah, they would definitely believe that.
They'd be like, somebody's take that dog before he breaks its neck.
I mean, at a convention, a comic book convention or something like that, you let people get away with being a furry. But in sixth grade, there's no reason for this.
That's the line.
Yeah.
But I think we should even move it a little further back because the comic book convention, there used to be separate. You used to go to the furry convention if you're a furry, and then you'd go to the comic book convention if you wanted to buy comic book or toys. And then now it's starting to bleed over. And we're also getting the anime conventions. And look, I know some people out there, they like the anime. I like some anime. I don't love anime, though.
They're
People
not
love
mutually
anime.
exclusive, those three things.
When I went to the Motor City Comic Con when I was 12 years old, Guar was actually there.
hell yeah.
Yeah.
See, that's when it used to be cool.
And they had like one guy who was just a
wasn't cool.
dude in a thong, just rollerblading around the convention, a Guar guy. And I was like, oh, that was the first time I saw that.
See, that's cool.
That is cool.
Spikes, and you're an alien from outer space. But when you're a man dressed in like a French maid outfit,
With a kitty hat on.
yeah, I'm not into that.
Yeah. If kids want to wear Guar costumes to school, I'm down with that.
Yeah. We could do like a reverse ban. If you were a furry, now you're a Guar. Now you're from Guar.
Now you're odorous Urungus.
Yes.
You're Blowthar the
What you would
Berserker.
do.
I'm down for that.
I think this is how we improve our country.
I do have a video to show you guys that's pretty
Really?
crazy. Yes. I like horror movies.
Yes.
This combines a nursing home with Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So please do enjoy.
This is.
This is a nursing home?
Units didn't come in.
Nursing home.
Step it up.
No, it's Doom, the hospital level.
Hey!
It is like Dune.
Drop the taser.
It's Dune. It's a first-person POV. There's a guy with a chainsaw.
On the ground. On the ground.
Where-
On the ground.
Is
He's
this
in
like
Illinois.
an elderly person with a chainsaw?
No, it is not an elderly person with a chainsaw.
Hey, drop.
Don't pull it. Don't you pull that string.
Yeah, he's got to be hoping that first pull gets it on.
Drop the
If it was
chainsaw.
an elderly person, it would just be sad.
One at taser point.
Rose pulling.
Oh my god. Hey, drop it! Drop it! Drop it! Drop it!
Let's try it. How have they not already shot him?
Well, I mean, that's being a police officer in 2025.
We'll be in the front line.
You have a
Drop
taser.
it! Drop it! Drop it!
First pull, I would have.
Yeah. He could have cut off 3 diapers
I'm surprised
by the time he got shot.
Surprised he hasn't said 2, 2.5, 2 3/4 yet.
I mean it, mister.
Yeah, he's gonna send him to his room.
Drop it!
You are grounded, sir. He waited till it came on. Maybe
It's
that's
honestly more of a liability if you tase him while the chainsaw's running. He's going to fall on it.
I mean, is that a rule of engagement or something?
Yeah, that's what it seemed like. Like you can't. It's in the handbook. You can't taser the man until he's
All the old
turned it
people
on.
are just in there eating.
yeah. it is a blue
Look,
state.
if you're that old, you're like, whatever.
He tased him and he turned into Daffy Duck apparently.
Maybe he thought he was Jesse James Dupree from Jackal. They were going to do the lumberjack song.
Drop it! Get him over. Get him
Wait, okay, this is the same guy.
Yeah.
He like ran around the corner, came around.
Yeah.
I thought they were multiplying for a second.
Yeah, he just
Nuts.
Where was this?
he got tased and it gave him powers like the Flash. That was in Illinois.
Yeah.
Illinois.
It only made him stronger.
Mm-hmm.
That's what. Why would you bring? These are people you can just blow over with your breath. You don't need to come armed with a chainsaw. You
You don't need hardware. You saw them. They were just sitting right next to the table. They didn't even stop their game of, Knuckles or whatever they were playing. Like,
Let's say if you look at the beginning of the video, there's an old lady sitting in one of the chairs and the police are coming in and she goes, he went that way.
She's over it.
Yeah, I got osteoporosis. I can't move. You better take care of this.
It's just like Jessica Tandy. Are you my son? Your son died in 1980.
you didn't have a chainsaw.
Yeah. That could have been someone's dying wish in there. You never know.
I mean,
It's my grandson,
Yeah.
his
Certainly
chainsaw.
exciting.
You're looking
It's
down
more
the barrel of just wasting away. Why not a chainsaw?
You gotta have
That's
a
the
little
way I wanna
excitement.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
These
very
legs
boring.
aren't working.
Yeah. I'm not going anywhere.
Guy just walks right into it. It's like I don't have to hoard my medication for 6 more months. I can just
End it now.
You're stolen everything from me. That's how I'm going out. Tesla attacks. Have you guys seen this?
yes.
It's getting worse and
Dumber?
dumber at the same time. So people they're firebombing some. They're destroying other ones. They're defacing them with swastikas and whatnot. And they're also doing this.
Why do you just have it ready?
So if we want to play by play, he's reaching into his asshole and pulling out feces and putting it onto the car. And then, let's just play this tape all the way through, walking away with a shit hand in a parking lot. He's not Purell enough to clean that off. There's not a sink close. So he's just waddling away with shit fingers. Thoughts?
Ironically, it made the Cybertruck look better. That is
Some detailing.
That is an ugly vehicle. Thank you for writing that joke, Matt McCall.
I appreciate it.
But I didn't know if you were going to do it.
No,
But
you did it. Thank you.
he really, listen, that Elon Musk does amazing things, but I don't get the Cybertruck thing. And he's just daring people to buy it. I saw
what it is.
I saw a lime green one and a neon orange one. It's like, we're selling too many of these. Make them orange and green now.
It's just like he said, like, what if the DeLorean had a flatbed?
Basically.
Yeah, it's like the El Camino of
Hey.
modern cars.
You got
It's a
an alchemy?
Ranchero. My dad had one.
All right, the Ranchero. Fair enough.
Ranchero. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
What are they doing?
yeah, they're egregiously ugly, and I think that is the point.
Yeah.
You hit it with they're daring people to buy it. My whole thing is he was like pushing the design of cars. He's like, I'm going to make the ugliest, most cyberpunk, futuristic car, and people will buy it. And then all the other car companies, because you saw it, all these other car companies start going, let's start putting edges and stuff and making it look more futuristic. So that was the plan. I think it's working out.
That's true.
Well, but the crazy thing is, I love the, the celebrities, Sheryl Crow, and then Senator Mark Kelly, or making videos. They're selling.
Yeah.
Their Teslas. Oh, you showed him.
Sheryl Crow traded hers in for a Volkswagen because she thought he was a Nazi.
Yeah.
But he had to be like, by the way.
Cheryl.
The company that he started.
You might want to look in the history books.
Yeah, and Mark Kelly traded in his green energy car for the car with the worst gas mileage on the market right now, the Chevy Tahoe.
Wow. That's a complete heel turn.
Yeah, so all these people who are into climate change
What is that?
are switching to gas cars.
What is a Tahoe, like 12 miles per gallon highway?
You watch the gas meter go down as you're driving.
Well, like when I started comedy and I first started hosting, I would do these clubs that were Wednesday through Sunday with no room, but it's just an opportunity to get stage time, lots of stage time, meet other comics. And my comedy beater car was my dad's old Chevy Suburban. And this was like the year when gas was $4 a gallon plus. Yeah. So I'm just going back and forth on a gig that's like $200 for the week.
So they're choosing to go from electric to that.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the funniest thing. We talked about it.
And that wasn't an option back then.
No.
Elon Musk made it an option.
And they loved it. They were like,
They
Elon
loved
is such
it.
a great man. He's saving the planet. He was in the freaking Iron Man movie. It was like he was the real life Iron Man until he might have a couple of questions about how the government's run. And then all of a sudden he's the Nazi. He's a freaking Hitler. All this stuff. We've got to start.
Well, I mean, part of that's a
crashing people's
consequence
cars.
of having to do business in a state like California.
He learned.
He's the smartest man in the world, and he moved out of California to Texas.
And what do you drive now, Matt?
Oh, what do I drive now? A Honda Civic. Yeah.
There you go. A nice practical car, good gas mileage. Because you don't need that anymore. You're playing movie theaters now.
I've literally
Made
driven.
it to the big screen.
I bought my Honda Civic in Westchester, New York, drove it to LA, drove it back, made pit stops along the way, and then drove it when I still lived in Orange County. I drove it back across the country again. It's made 3 cross-country trips and never given me an ounce of trouble. 10 years. Yeah.
Roll, dude.
He had to crowbar in that he lived in Orange County. All right, cha-ching, cha-ching.
No, I was Fullerton.
I get it.
What is it? No, I got priced out of LA. That was the problem. And my wife didn't want to put up with it anymore.
But what's crazy is the party of people who want unfettered immigration and want green, clean energy are protesting the richest immigrant in America who created the greatest green energy car.
Yeah. Dude, it's so funny. The things that knock around in those brains. Like, hey, I'm going to stick my hand in my pants and pull shit out of my ass. That'll get them.
Yeah, but that guy could probably do that at any point in the day. You get a look at him with the man boobs and
The absolute state.
I would just love that if he got arrested
That
and it just found out it wasn't political at all.
He was just doing it.
yeah, he just needed a place to wipe it.
Do they not know that they have cameras on these very high-tech electric cars? Because like every single one, there's a guy that was walking in a parking lot and he keyed the car like into the camera. It's like we can see your face. And then he walked past and unlocked his apartment door.
Now we know where you
He
live.
got it on camera.
It's an HD. It has a keychain with his address. Like, in plus, found Mark Kelly.
Yeah,
You don't even have to enhance the footage. It's right there.
Yeah, you think the guy that created SpaceX doesn't have a security system at his dealerships?
You might figure it out.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't know how to transition to this, but look, sheets are great. You need to sleep on them. And why would you sleep on the sheets that you have when you could sleep on some miracle sheets?
So true.
That's right. They're beautiful.
They're inspired by NASA.
They are inspired by NASA, which is it used to be a good thing, right? You know,
I'm inspired by NASA
NASA's pretty cool.
How has NASA inspired you, Don?
because I went there, when I was like 12 to Disney World. And we went to Nassau. We watched them, the control room and all that stuff. And so that was cool when you're a kid. Space. The next thing.
You can get all that in your sheets right now. You could sleep cool at night while all the disgusting bacteria that would be there is not there anymore. It's wicked away.
Yeah, if you're the guy that rubs your poop on a Tesla,
you could sleep easy.
you could really use these sheets because you need to clean them less because they're actually moisture wicking.
I've never washed mine once.
Wow.
And you don't have to either.
Don't need to.
So if you would like to get your own sheets, and I don't know why you wouldn't, try miracle.com/normal, and you can get, how was it, 20% off?
Yeah, and then an extra 40% at checkout.
That's
top of that.
60%. I can do small math.
See, they usually get you at checkout for more.
No.
But
Not here.
Yeah.
No, when you buy concert tickets, when you first go on,
fees.
they're $200. By the time you check out, $1,800.
Yep.
This is not that, folks.
Opposite. And they're going to give you 3 free towels.
And the towels. So go do it, because they support the show, and they're good stuff. They're good stuff.
Good
Okay,
stuff.
come on.
Thank you. TryMiracle.com/normal.
All right, what else we got here? A lot of weird stuff. I want
Yes.
to talk about the Giza pyramids. Have you seen the new findings that came out of what is that? Egypt? the Egypt place there.
Giza?
In the medium, I don't know which one that one's called. There's the
middle?
There's the middle medium sized.
I believe you're thinking of the Luxor in Las Vegas.
No, I was thinking of the Bass Pro Shop. So they did ground penetrating radar under the Giza Plateau and found underneath there are 8 200-meter deep wells.
Yeah, like chambers.
There's 8 of them, and they go down 200 meters, and then at the bottom they meet an 80 by 80 size, just a vacant void. So basically, if you don't know what it is, it's Daredevil magic. And they shoot sound into the ground, and they can get the radar back, and it gives them a picture. And they went in and looked at it, and it's this massive complex underneath. Mm-hmm. And even further down, it seems to imply that there's connective tunnels to the other pyramids.
There's a whole underground city.
There's a whole underground network.
That's also where Mike Lindell is creating the Giza Dream Sheets
Yes.
for his My Pillow company.
Look out,
That's
Miracle
where
Made.
it comes from.
That's why all those tunnels are down there.
Yeah.
That's where all
It's
the
a factory.
manufacturing happens.
Oh.
I think
So
we
it's
actually
weird.
have a little video that'll kind
Remember
of
the
show.
diagram?
Yeah.
Yeah, they made a diagram to explain it.
It's not Hasidic realtors.
Not this time.
Maybe.
3D model of the internal structure of the Great Pyramid of Giza. Now, this model has revealed a previously unknown
It is the Great
chamber
Pyramid.
with 5 horizontal levels and a sloping roof, which in of itself is an architectural design unlike any previously
Just like the King's
documented
Chamber.
in the Giza Pyramid.
But 5 of them.
But the most shocking discovery lies beneath the surface, below ground level. Radar tomography has identified.
Well, what about
vertical
tower number 7?
Cylindrical
I'm just
structures
asking questions.
Never know about that.
extending for
I'm just
hundreds
asking
of
questions.
meters
They're down there.
beneath the pyramid. There are 8 of these cylindrical wells arranged
spiral.
in 2 parallel rows, descending to an astonishing depth of 648 meters.
Way more than I thought.
Even more
600.
intriguing, at the base of these
my God.
structures are 2 massive cubic formations measuring approximately.
Have you seen those
80
last
meters
couple of
in
shitty
diameter.
Godzilla,
The
King Kong
topographic
movies?
data suggests
Like, oh, what if that turns out that's real?
vertical wells
That's Godzilla's
Yeah.
bedroom.
No, this is pyramid AI if I ever saw it.
Implies a functional purpose, but also a level of sophisticated engineering that completely blows the dynastic Egyptian model out of the water.
That is really wild.
Well,
I mean,
aliens
the
are real.
pyramid itself was already.
Bro, is it a factory?
massive
Is it a
red
You know, I'm
What was it
s-
for?
going on, man?
Egyptian historical narrative. But
All right,
now,
okay.
with this
Too
discovery,
analytical.
Are we really fascinated by this?
I find it super fascinating.
Because we used to be fascinated by how they built the pyramids. Now we're fascinated with the basement.
Well, that's the thing. We still haven't really figured out exactly
How
how
they
that.
did it.
I'm more
I know how they
How'd
did
they
it. They got a
dash?
bunch of Italians to come over.
That's actually.
They do good brickwork.
That's true.
That's fair.
You know that. No, they laid a bunch of rocks on top of each other, and now it's a pyramid.
How did they do it?
They were like perfectly.
Doesn't matter.
Physically.
Doesn't matter how they did it.
Does
30 feet away from those pyramids is a KFC and an Arby's.
That's
true.
true.
There is though. There's a KFC there.
Yeah.
Capitalism
You
wins.
could eat a
Yeah.
bucket of chicken and look at the
And then go to
plateau.
see where they do the Giza Dream Sheets.
Yeah.
But you're into the
I'm totally into
pyramids.
it. I was almost gonna go last year, but then we ended up going to Peru, and we're gonna go to Turkey this year for the show I do on Sundays, Forbidden Frontier on the Nerdrotic Show channel. We're gonna go to the Giza Plateau eventually. It's on the list.
Do you
But
guys need
it
anybody
was
to
interesting.
produce that or anything?
I maybe could put in a good word.
Okay.
Yeah, free
I just
free
wanna
KFC.
Go, I just
I
want to
just
go on the
wanna-
trips.
Just want to know.
You guys go on cool trips.
I'm going to take a camel over to the KFC after this.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't find the pyramids that fascinating. What about the Sphinx?
Sphinx is amazing. Sphinx is also amazing. The wear on it, the weathering on it doesn't actually track with the age that we have officially. There's a lot of weird things about the Sphinx as well. So the whole Egypt is an amazing place full of a lot of mysteries, and it's not the only place. There's, like I said, like Peru, full of crazy mysteries of structures that were built, and we don't know how they were built or why they were built.
Would you go to the Mayan temples?
We went
Peru?
to Sacsayhuamán.
Sexy woman.
Sexy woman.
You just made that up. I
did.
And you were looking at Angela when you said that.
I was looking at you.
He was looking at
All
you.
right, well,
And Machu Picchu.
looking pretty good. I'm
Sounds
having
like
a
a
good hair
place
day.
by the airport.
Yeah.
Sexy woman. Yeah, that's where I go.
Strip club by the airport.
Exactly.
I got funny money for the
Duty
Machu
free.
Picchu still.
But yeah, it's a cool spot.
Well, the Sphinx lost his nose much like Michael Jackson. But there was no
Same way.
surgery for the Sphinx back then.
He didn't lose it like Artie Lang.
No.
Maybe.
It wasn't like Tom Sobel and
part of the
all that
mystery.
septum damage.
I find it weird though, because stuff like this kind of happens all the time. Little discoveries, little articles come out about interesting things, and it doesn't go anywhere. But this one
It feels like a big one.
blew up for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, and it blew up at a time where the news is inundated with crazy stories. And somehow there was something in this one that just attracted people.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it'll get pushed to the side.
Oh, yeah,
for
everything
the
is
pit
getting-
bulls on cocaine story.
Everything's getting
Excuse
pushed.
Yeah.
We have pit bulls on cocaine?
Have you not heard?
No, I haven't.
Oh, we've got pit
Well,
bulls
forget
running
about
the
that.
streets. Addicted to cocaine.
What streets?
Somewhere
Detroit?
in Ashton Village, Asheville.
Asheville, North Carolina?
It appears to be North Carolina.
Oh, yeah, Asheville, North Carolina.
Yeah.
They have do we have footage
Well,
of these dogs?
But no, here's the deal.
Oh.
Okay, savage pit bulls with cocaine in their systems kill gardening grandmother in gruesome mauling. It gets worse. Joanne
This
Eckelberger.
isn't funny.
It's no, but it's
Not
the
yet.
news.
A
It's
little
the
bit.
news.
Not
all right?
yet.
Okay.
73 was killed by the pit bulls on October 17th. The fatal dog attack took place. The reason it's coming into the news now is because there's a lawsuit against the owners of the dogs. Eckelbarger reportedly was dismembered in the grisly attack. The lawsuit notes that even after responding, police officers shot one of the dogs. The animal returned to attack Eckelbarger. Sheriff deputies ultimately shot and killed the pit bulls. What's more, medical reports found that the pit bulls had cocaine in their systems at the time of the dog attack. The owners of the dogs, Adam Withers and his mother, Susan Smithers, in February were found guilty of involuntary manslaughter for failure to confine and control vicious dogs. Adam Withers was also arrested for disorderly conduct weeks before the fatal dog attack. Police reportedly said he was acting erratically and his two dogs were running loose in the condo. Officers with the Asheville Police Department encountered Withers and his two dogs, who appeared impaired and couldn't stand up. Withers allegedly admitted to officers that he had snorted cocaine in his garage with his dogs in his presence.
He snorted cocaine with his dogs.
Yeah.
In all fairness, Hunter Biden apologized for his pet's behavior.
He said sorry.
That's
That's why the police let him off the first time.
Did
They're
anybody
like,
see pit bulls in the White House a few months ago?
Oh, yeah.
That's where they were stashing it.
Secret Service was like, we have no idea.
Yeah, we just saw a few dogs scurry out of here.
No clue.
dogs doing cocaine sounds like a painting that should be next to the one of them playing pool and playing poker.
We've already had Cocaine Bear, Cocaine Pit Bulls. That's the movie I want to see.
Yeah.
cocaine pit bulls
Snakes on a
versus
plane,
toddlers.
cocaine pit bulls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's just funny to me because like Asheville is like this like San Francisco of North Carolina. It's a it's a pretty city.
It's like
but
Austin.
It's a very I've been there a few times for some comedy festivals. Very liberal city. And because I used to walk dogs in Bushwick, Brooklyn, it doesn't surprise me that there's a lot of pit bulls because for some reason white liberals love pit bulls. They're all like Norman Mailer and Jack Henry Abbott. They're like the Jack Henry Abbott of dogs. Doesn't matter how many crimes they commit. They're like, oh, he's
So cute.
Yeah. It's got a heart of gold, this one.
But it's really the owner.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's not like the dog went out to the corner and was like trying to get a bump.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah. I mean, how do you chop up a line of Coke with a paw?
you don't have the opposable thumbs for that.
Yeah.
Just
They
lick it
just
off the
grind
floor.
their teeth.
Yeah.
They're gumming it.
On the other line, when we were saying the chainsaw death,
Actually, they
this
just
could be a
drag
rad
their,
way to go too.
it's like Stevie Nicks used to put it up her butt.
She did?
Yeah, yeah. Because
We still talking about cocaine?
She didn't want to use her vocal cords.
Oh, I thought-
So yeah, that's how
Okay.
dogs do cocaine. They just drag their butt across it.
So she was doing it responsibly.
Yeah.
I named my
Charlie
daughter
Sheen
after
taught
her.
me that. But with another thing
enema.
that's related to the nursing home thing is, what did you say, Angela?
What?
They've After they basically dismembered this woman, they shot the dogs.
Yeah.
Start shooting the second you get out of the car.
What are you waiting for?
They're dogs. Did they do the same thing? All right, sit.
Allegedly, the cop said, "I'm not going to Narcan this dog." And he shot him. People are mad that they shot them. And he said, "What am I supposed to do, Narcan the dog?"
Nashville. Of course they're going to be mad. They shot.
And it's actively pulling an old lady's arms off.
And her husband, who was confined to a wheelchair on the porch, had to watch it happen.
Oh, man.
It's
that's
awful.
Sad. That's so sad.
Get it together, people.
I'm not against pit bulls, though. I know there's a lot of people, that was like a whole thing a couple years ago with conservatives all of a sudden being like, you can't ever own a pit bull.
I like
what are you
them,
talking- like,
and there's
people can
cute,
own
like
them,
I said,
just
there's
be
like
responsible.
cute ones and there's sweet ones, but then like they'll just go AWOL sometimes.
You
and
got to
then,
know.
And then like I had
that.
one who was just completely shy and just. I'm sitting down on his couch and it climbs up and just starts humping my arm, and I'm just let it finish, I guess.
Yeah, you can't fight it.
Can't
What do
say
you
no.
mean? What do you mean? You guess?
I don't have another. I'm not fighting it off. I'm just taking.
There's no
I'm
option.
just gonna take it and cry and hold my.
Do you
knees
mind me
there.
asking where he finished?
Yeah,
On his back.
Actually, it never did. I don't think it did finish. It was a girl. It was just doing it to show dominance. I'm pretty sure.
And it did.
Yeah.
Did he growl, "Bend over, bitch"?
No, but that would have been amazing.
That would have
Can
been
you
amazing.
imagine?
Pit bulls are cute, especially
Yeah.
if you don't care about having all your fingers throughout your whole
Yeah.
life.
It's just like one of those things because like there's so many dogs that people buy that are like these boutique pets that have no reason to exist. Like the thing with like Frenchies, they're cute and they're harmless, but you actually pretty much have to artificially inseminate them because their hips aren't wide enough to have sex naturally.
Yeah.
It's just
How do you know that, Matt?
die.
You know a lot about the sex life of pets.
You have to artificially inseminate them.
How do you do that, Matt?
I don't know. I
Roll up your sleeve?
I look for it in incognito mode.
Yeah, I'll only accept a pet that there's a possibility that it could kill me at some point.
Yeah, why would you not have a dog? That's
Yeah,
what
you
they're
little
Dog's a pit bull.
It's like all my friends. Like I'm a mellow guy, but I like friends that have a certain amount of rage to them.
okay.
You know, like Dave Landau.
All right, yeah.
He seems calm on the surface, but there's a ton of rage.
Oh, a seething amount.
It could
Yes.
snap at any moment.
Simmering amount.
Yeah. And he could attack at any time. You don't know.
Yeah.
He's like a
Just
little
like a
pit
pit bull.
bull.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He's shaped like a pit bull.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, let's get him a
Like a little-
collar. Yeah. But I like, even cats. Like me and my girl have 3 cats. And not that they could probably kill us, but if we died, like if we were in David Draymond's rental in Florida and we died of mold poisoning, in 2 days they'd eat us.
Oh, yeah. No.
That's metal.
4 hours.
So metal.
4 hours.
Not
they'd be
finding
nailing
them dead next to you like Gene Hackman's dogs. Yeah,
How we found out about that, like live on the air on
Yeah.
Friday Night Tights. It was the news of what actually happened is she passed away first, and she was taking care of him because he was like had dementia and all this stuff. So he just
From
didn't have anybody
hantavirus?
to take
Yeah.
care of.
Rat bites?
Mouse poop dust.
Oh.
I actually know that because I started to freak the fuck out.
Oh, yeah.
Because I had been cleaning my house full of mouse poop, not wearing any PPE. Yeah, because when we moved back into the house, it was exposed to the elements. A tree fell on it. We were out for 6 months.
Yeah.
Mouse poop everywhere, and I was just like, well, I'll sweep this up. And apparently that's the worst
There
thing
was
you
just
can
mice
possibly do.
squatting at your house.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Mickey and Minnie.
Yeah, like the
smoking.
immigrants in that Paris theater.
Exactly.
and they were smoking
And they
too.
make it go crazy too.
And they were actually squatting, I heard. They're actually doing squats. They had the best asses of any
You
illegal.
got to be able to jump over the
migrants.
fence. Like that takes a lot of.
But why did a tree hitting your house cause you to have a mouse problem? They don't hang out in trees.
Well,
You
because
already had
the roof was destroyed.
Oh, so-
and so raccoons were in. Our subflooring was
God.
destroyed.
Yeah.
Varmint of all kind were just having a blast.
But you're Gene Hackman. How do you have mice in your $80 million mansion?
It wasn't in the house. It was in one of the sheds. They think. Oh. Yeah. And it only
So that got
happens in the.
her.
It only happens in the 4 corners. A lot from deer mice. I did a lot of research about this.
Apparently.
I was
know.
very worried. But yeah, that's how it
What are
happens.
the sex habits of mice, Matt?
How do their hips?
What's the width on that?
Yeah, how are their hips? Do they have breeding hips?
I didn't go that far down the rabbit hole. I don't know. They
How are the rabbit
they
holes?
lay.
Have you ever seen a rabbit hole?
These are important questions.
Yeah, they quiver like a little nostril. Oh God, that was bad.
I loved it.
That's the most disgusting thing I've ever said on this show.
Have you ever gotten your hand caught in a habit trail? Yes or no?
No, I don't know. What is a habit?
Not yet.
One more story.
Okay.
One more story here. Adolescence. Netflix doing what Netflix usually does is race swap, but this time, interestingly, they swapped to a white kid instead of a black kid. Turns out that the kid in question murdered another kid, but don't worry about that. Do we have a clip?
We don't have a clip, but
We have a photo. At least
so it was inspired by the murder
Yes.
of schoolgirl Eliane and and this is so the reality is a black student killed her.
unfortunately.
Netflix's version, white kid, but it's currently being hailed as flawless TV and being praised because it, quote, shines a light on social media's toxic influence and misogynistic influencers on teenage boys.
What?
The show is inspired by the real life, like I was saying, Eliane.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I can hone in on one flaw specifically.
Murder?
Yeah.
That might be the one.
Murder.
I wasn't even thinking about that one. I was thinking that the guy looked like the Somali pirate in that Tom Hanks film, Tim Roberts.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate story. The actual reality of the story is a very sad story. And then why they would
Well,
watch
they want to be like the MCU and make an
Uncomfortable.
alternate dimension, an alternate universe. They create this alternate reality where her murderer is some Millhouse out-looking kid,
Yeah,
And not
Jared Leto murdered me.
not a knife-wielding
believe
foreigner.
that. He's weird.
That's going to happen one of these days.
Jared
He's
Leto's
running
a
that
weirdo.
cult out in the desert.
You know about that cult at
true.
Island, bro?
I'm in it.
Really?
Hey, I was the first to join.
Those tickets. Want to do a video?
That looks like he could start a cult, actually, doesn't
see
he?
it.
Yeah.
Do you have aviators? Own a pair of aviators?
I do, yeah.
Those are powerful pieces of
Equipment.
equipment. Yeah.
I had no idea.
He's got the long hair. He's got the musical background.
You got the sideburns.
Yeah.
I haven't
Have
seen a
any-
cult leader with the sideburns yet.
Oh yeah, that'd be perfect. Well,
David Koresh he had a little side growth.
Okay.
didn't
Not
Jim
like those.
Jones? He had a little bit of
I
an
mean,
Elvis thing going.
They weren't
Yeah.
like that, though.
They weren't like that though. So those are some powerful. You get those with some aviators and maybe just a slight skewed perspective on a religion. Just pick one, and then
And
just
fuck
have sex
all
with
your friends' wives.
all of the women. That's how you do it.
That's why I only have friends who have ugly wives.
So
No, I am not tempted to be a cult leader in any way.
Otherwise, a full-on Kool-Aid, you'd have them all wearing tennis shoes and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
tennis shoes and bowl cuts. The guys have their genitals cut off.
You know, we don't know if Heaven's Gate wasn't real or not.
They could be on that ship right now.
It could be.
Well, we just watched, I think it's on Netflix, that Lori Vallow story,
Oh, it's so
seen
sick.
that one.
where
So
her and that
sick.
guy Chad Daybell started that little cult. And
Oh,
It was
Haven't
it's
seen
like
this?
Mormon, really fringe Mormon stuff.
Don't talk about that.
Well, I will talk about it because it's messed up.
yeah, well, at least they got it right. You can marry a bunch of people,
Yeah, they figured it out.
but they also figured out that their kids were demons and had to kill them.
Yeah.
See, yeah.
They had worms in their brains.
Yeah.
Unfortunate, but it had to be done.
That's why your brain's all squiggly.
Well, luckily they were furries, so nobody
RFK.
felt bad.
Have you ever seen the one cult? It's the online cult where it's like the kind of pretty lady named Teal Swan. You ever
Yes.
seen- Yes.
Yes.
Lululemon?
Yeah, I don't. I'm just surprised there's not more of those because you would think.
Well, the internet, there's more and more.
I mean, they're called OnlyFans, but yeah.
Yeah. But Matt, you don't get the same experience from an online cult. It's like going to online college. You don't get the parties, you don't get the date rape, you don't get any of that stuff.
Yeah.
An online cult, I want to be hands-on.
yeah.
I want to be mixing the Kool-Aid.
Like Heaven's Gate, that website's still up. They
Well,
left
there's still
one guy.
there's still people. The church is still active.
But they're not massively killing themselves. They're not at the same power. It's unfortunate.
Let's find out who's in a cult here. Raise your hand if you're waiting for the rapture. All right, 2 of 4, 50%.
What if it already happened? Oh man, we're just the left behind. We're Nicolas Cage on the plane.
Or Kirk Cameron.
Or the superior version of the trash series.
I have a friend whose wife is a Jehovah's Witness, but he's not. It's so weird.
How does that happen?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So does he get to celebrate birthdays?
Yeah, he does whatever he wants.
Weird.
How does that
She gags when she hears swear words and like can't watch a movie like Paranorman with the kids because it's satanic.
So does she drag him knocking on doors, trying to hand out copies of The Lighthouse?
No, he's not any part of
Do
that.
they still do that? Remember when they used to knock on your door? Can I
see the
talk to you for a
Mormons.
moment?
Yeah.
I see the Mormons, but I don't ever see those guys
They
anymore.
look very similar. They dress similarly.
Do they?
Yeah.
Mm.
They want to give you a pamphlet.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about Jesus.
I just say I already got it. I'm good. I know the Jesus.
Yeah, I used to have some of those guys who lived in my complex. They were the nicest guys in the world, and they looked exactly like the ones from the Trey Parker, Matt Stone play.
Yeah.
Do they have to ride the bicycles? Like they know that the cars like they exist and they can
Yeah,
drive
why
them.
do they have to ride the
I
bicycles?
don't know.
That is
Maybe it's
such
just
a-
like a penance thing. It's
My
like,
friend who's married the Jehovah's Witness, he also once bought a Mormon guy a hand job. And then 20
this is
years
why we
later,
need the autism facts. Stinger.
the
I
Marines.
by
then
7
then,
different
like-
women.
then 20 years later, that guy killed himself, and another acquaintance of ours went on Facebook and tried to blame my friend for the hand job 20 years earlier.
You see, if Jehovah's Witnesses drove Cybertrucks, they'd be way cooler.
Yeah, they'd get way more signups.
Yeah.
Is that how it works? Signups?
I think so.
Is it like a
Signups.
Sign-ups.
Yeah.
Subscribers.
subscribe thing?
I'm into online cults. I don't have to work that hard. Just log in for a few minutes, blah, blah, blah.
It's like
Wow, you flip-flop. You flip-flop.
Well, I'm just saying, like, if I was in a cult, I don't want to put that much work into it.
There's no pressure. Yeah,
know.
it's just
it's just like working from home.
Yeah. And Jesus said to the, close the laptop.
yeah.
I'm done.
Just turn the camera off.
Yeah.
They just know. They think that you're there.
You just
Speaking
have to
of-
click a box to tell them you drank the Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys
I'm
saw,
dying.
but Michelle Obama has a new
Oh,
show,
yes.
and that's, I mean, she could start her own cult.
She could
She's
with that
got-
hair.
Yeah, she
She's got
looks
some
like-
interesting hair.
She's got a cult leader. Not this hair. Do we have a photo of the
We have a
her
clip.
new look?
Friend.
Let's take a look.
But she got to the point where
Look at that.
just sort of
It's like
Oh, man.
Ray.
I love Coolio.
In Star Wars. Yeah.
I love Coolio. I'm glad he's making a comeback.
anxiety
R.I.P.
that comes
He looks
with
great.
that.
Yeah.
You know,
Incarnated.
just realizing
Gangster
that that's what
paradise
Mom
right
and
there.
Dad we're dealing with.
His
I love
her
how
brother
they're
looks
all
like
cosplay,
more like
you know?
Michelle Obama than Michelle Obama does. That's
Is
the
that her
thing.
brother?
In the face, yeah. His name's
Biggie
Craig
Smalls?
Robinson. He's not the funny one.
Ah.
That's too bad.
So Michelle has a podcast. Gavin Newsom has a podcast.
Meghan Markle.
Megan has a podcast and a Netflix show where she's making cookies or something. Everybody's got a podcast, man. But like and subscribe
To our podcast.
Yes.
our podcast and leave us a review on the audio side because it helps and
I
stuff.
don't know. It's like
Helps us fight these freaking interlopers. This is our space.
It's like when you watch mainstream people try to pivot to podcasts,
Cringe.
it's like watching Angel Smith wear a leather jacket. You know, it just doesn't fit. Right?
The turn doesn't matter.
Yeah, no.
It doesn't make any sense. You shouldn't be doing this. It's like
look,
late
I'm
night
DIY.
when they did all during the pandemic. They were all in their closets.
Yeah, they're all doing Zoom.
Oh,
Like
it
you
was
are.
so painful.
And they would have, did you know that there was a company that had sent bookshelves of books to people's houses because they didn't really have books?
just a
That's
prop
amazing.
house. Like they're not even. There's no
it's
words
just
in
a
these books.
poster.
Yeah.
Yeah,
a bookshelf.
it's a banner. It's like the Willy Wonka
Right.
experience, but
Yeah, and then your kid walks through it accidenally while you're on the air.
get out of here!
That's
I wish I didn't
amazing.
make you in a tube.
Your just roommate is microwaving a hot pocket while you
Yeah.
host the Daily Show.
I transition you if you don't stay out of this room.
But why is Michelle's podcast not doing so good? She was supposed to, they were going to maybe put her in as a Democratic candidate. She would wipe Trump off the floor.
Right.
Just people like the idea of her, but they don't actually know anything about her. That's the problem.
Yeah.
I think because we've got these two, Gavin and Michelle. Like you just said, she was like the front runner almost there for a second. People were
She hates
talking about
politics,
it.
is my understanding of it. She has no interest in it, actually. It's just like she just was along for the ride and went with it, but she doesn't want the responsibility of it. Yeah. She wants to drink mimosas in the Hamptons. And it's like, I mean, Gavin Newsom, he's so evil that in a weird way you kind of almost like him sometimes. Just because he's like one of those villains.
At least it's entertaining.
He's one of those villains. He's just like, damn, he's so good.
Got that charisma.
He's just such a shameless piece of shit.
Yeah, he's like Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker.
Exactly.
You know, it's like, oh, I like this guy. He's a scumbag, but I like him.
Well, just he had the balls when the Chinese president came. He's like, well, you clean up your house when you have people over.
Wow.
Yeah, that was.
But that's why they're doing the podcast. They're trying to. They saw that Donald Trump. You guys were talking about it earlier in the week. It's like they saw that Donald Trump won because he was on podcasts and he was doing big shows, and they were like, "We can do that." Beep, boop, boop, boop. Let's put them into a set and put
then
a
they said
camera
that
on
their
them.
left-leaning podcast, Midas Touch, beat Joe Rogan, and I've never heard of that. I don't know what.
Maybe
I don't know what that is.
I'm not in the loop.
Well, I mean, it's just suspicious when something just comes out of left field, and you're like, "This seems astroturfed to me." I'm pretty sure.
Well, that's what they tried to do during the campaign when they had Donald Trump on Joe Rogan, and then Joe was trying to get Kamala on, and they were like, "No, you can only have an hour, and you have to come to us, and we'll build a set." I'm sure that's what they were going to do for Joe, because they did that for the other show, the other podcast that she did go on. They built that whole set. Like, they recreated her set and made a set for her. So it's a complete vacuum of just controlled
and that's a
space.
genius move on Trump's part to just do it exactly the way Joe wants it.
Well, like they did with Biden. They had the White House set.
Yeah.
You know.
Which now we have.
Which,
you do?
He
It's here
walked right
now?
by it.
All right.
Together. It's
We
ours
should
now.
do the end of the show from there.
Yeah. Speaking of, Don Jamieson, thanks so much for being on the show again.
Good
It's
to
always
be back.
having
Thank
here.
you.
If people want to see you again, could you remind them?
Oh, my goodness. The 21st, which is tomorrow, I'll be in Arlington, Texas at the Heavy Metal Hall of Fame. Kraken Wise, some metal bands playing after
What
me.
bands are going to be there?
Yeah.
It's Metallica, Iron Maiden, and Slayer.
Wow, that is
It's crazy lineup.
Dio. I'm gonna bring Dio back
Yes, we're
for it.
bringing Dio back from the dead.
Randy Rhoads is playing.
Yeah. Their careers are all more alive than mine. But I will be with the great Dave Landau Saturday night, the 22nd, at the Roxy in Rochester, Michigan, with the great Michael Loftus. We're American Misfits. Come on, we're such misfits. Our show's at 7 p.m. on a Saturday night. Come check us out.
You can get in bed. Right.
Yeah, you'll be in bed by 9 o'clock.
The Gutfeld fans turn in early.
Yeah.
Speaking of, hey, right after this show ends, go watch Dave on Gutfeld. It's on the Fox network, I believe. I know it's a small show.
Still is.
Never heard
small
of
network.
It needs your support.
Gutfeld?
It needs
Yes.
your help.
Matt, where can people find you?
Yeah. At Matt McClowry on all platforms, mattmcclowry.com. Besides What is Wesley Chapel tomorrow, Friday and Saturday, March 21st and 22nd.
A lot of sex with animal jokes.
Yes.
This is all set.
Only one. Now that I think of it, only one, but it's a good one.
All right.
It's a humdinger.
Check it out.
Yeah. End of the world, you want to get to it?
Yes. Let's do it.
Ew, who wants to do it? We haven't figured this out. Who wants to do the
my
read for
God.
the end of the world?
I wrote my name by it. Oh,
Let's
no, I
go.
didn't. That was something else. Sorry.
Dawn.
I'll do it. I'll do it. A Colombian man was busted after trying to smuggle cocaine under his toupee. What are some worse ways to smuggle drugs? Poor William Shatner.
I've thought about this a lot.
All right.
We were talking about the nursing homes, and I think this is a good plan. Demerol in your diapers.
Oh, yeah. In the inside.
Inside, yes.
How about a lady here? Vicodin in your vagina.
Oh.
Sexy.
Adderall in your ass.
Yes.
The best way to take it.
Yeah, it's harder.
Meth in your merkin, anyone?
Oh.
Yeah. These are all good.
And how about
You got
Go ahead.
fentanyl in your fat folds?
Ooh. And Percocet in your pee hole. Thank you.
We'll see you next Tuesday, and Dave will be back. Goodbye.